starting material plus the reagent makes the product. An alkene plus HX makes an alkyl halide. Hey there! I thought I'd shoot this video in my office today. When I do these tips and tricks videos, I thought a different change of scenery might be nice. Go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know if you like this new setup, if you want to see more like this. Today I want to talk about 3 phrase sentences, a new way to organize your reactions that you may not have thought about before. You need an organization strategy, and 3 phrase sentences might just be the thing you're looking for. As you're going through your reactions, as you're going through your notes, you might be tempted to make flashcards for your reactions. I don't necessarily mind that. Flashcards work in some situations, but they don't always work in all situations. And let me show you an example where I don't like them. If you are going through your notes and you want to make a flashcard for the hydrohalogenation reaction, you might draw the alkene starting material, put HX over the arrow, and you might draw the products on the opposite side. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, and that will help you with this reaction. Here's where you might see it not work out the way that you think it does. When you look at this reaction and you go to your practice problems or to the exams, will you be able to tell that these are the same reaction? They're both hydrohalogenation reactions. They both have an alkene, but one reacts with HBr and one reacts with HCl. Will you be able to tell the difference? Or how about this one here? This doesn't look anything like this one. It's got a bunch of fluorines around it, but these are exactly the same reaction. This is where I think these flashcards don't always work out. If all you see is this picture, then all you're ever going to see in your brain is this picture of this alkene. And if the picture on the exam looks even a little bit different, you might not be able to tell that they're really the same reaction. So let me show you a different way of organizing your reactions that I think works a little bit better. As you go through your notes and you come across the hydrohalogenation reaction, and I want you to write the reaction in words rather than in pictures. Write down the name of the functional group for the starting material, the reagent, and the product. So the hydrohalogenation reaction would be an alkene reacting with HX to form an alkyl halide. Then when you go to make your flashcards for this reaction, I want you to write it down in words rather than in pictures. You can write down that an alkene starting material reacts with HX, and the alkene plus HX makes, and then on the back you can write in words the name of the functional group of the product. It makes an alkyl halide. This is how you can make your 3-phrase sentence for this reaction. Starting material plus the reagent makes the product. An alkene plus HX makes an alkyl halide. And then here's the cool part. Here's a new unique part. I want you to write 3 flashcards for this reaction from all 3 possible combinations. From the perspective of the starting material, the alkene plus HX makes the alkyl halide. From the perspective of the reagent, HX turns an alkene into an alkyl halide. And from the perspective of the product, the alkyl halide is made when an alkene reacts with HX. All of these are going to be really useful for you when you're practicing your predict the product type questions, but this one specifically, the one from the perspective of the product, is going to be really helpful as you start to get into synthesis problems. When you're just given the product and you have to figure out how to make it from starting materials, having your 3-phrase sentence from the perspective of the product is going to be really useful. The reason that I like these 3-phrase sentences so much is because it stores the information in the verbal part of your brain rather than the pictorial part of your brain. Activating a different part of your brain, forming connections between different parts of your brain, is going to really help solidify this information in your brain. Once you have all 3 flashcards made for this reaction, you can combine them with your other flashcards for your other reactions to study all of the reactions at the same time in all possible combinations. So then you can test yourself with all of your flashcards. An alkene plus hydrogen palladium on carbon makes an alkane with syn addition. HX turns an alkene, this is the one we just made, into an alkyl halide. An alkene plus X2 makes a dihalide that's vicinal and anti. So you can even include extra tips on there to remind yourself what the product is supposed to look like, and so on and so forth. Then when you get to your practice problems, you can use your 3-phrase sentences to help you unlock what those reactions are supposed to be doing. So in this first example, there is an alkene as our starting material, and it's reacting with an acid and water. So I can unlock the verbal part of my brain to remember that flashcard where an alkene plus an acid and water makes an alcohol as our product. And when I think about the flashcard for this reaction, I would write that not only does it make an alcohol, but an acid and water makes an alcohol with rearrangement. So I want to make sure that I'm careful to address any possible carbocation rearrangement that would occur in this reaction. In our next reaction, we're missing the reagents, but I see that I still have an alkene as my starting material, and in this reaction I also have an alcohol as my product. I notice that this one, the alcohol is on the interior side, that's the Markovnikov side, so it must be a Markovnikov process. And if I think about the carbocation that would have formed, I see that there is not actually rearrangement in this reaction. So this is the reaction that does the Markovnikov process with no rearrangement. And in the last one, I have an alcohol as my product. I'm missing the starting material, but I see that it's reacting with BH3. So from the perspective of the product, the alcohol is made when what reacts with BH3? Specifically, this alcohol is on the less substituted side, so it's an anti-Markovnikov alcohol. So an alcohol that's anti-recombinant COP is made when what reacts with BH3. I'm not going to fill in the answers here, but this is how you can make your 3-phrase sentence flashcards and how you can use them to help organize the reactions so you have the advantage when it comes to the practice problems and your exams.
I'm glad you're here with us for this training today. Check out these other videos in my playlists to see if there's anything else that can help you level up your ninja levels even further. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe.